here once again for morning yoga. Sorry, I am about 10 minutes late. I slept in this morning. That's something often that I do. I'm normally an early riser. Um, and then when I got downstairs, I had technical difficulties. For some reason, my internet on my television is not connecting to Xfinity. And so I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I don't have time to troubleshoot. Let me go get my computer and set up. So it took me a little longer to get myself situated today. Today we're going to do I think a 30 or 35 minute practice. The yogi that I'm following is Yoga with Cassandra, and the practice is titled My Home Practice for Strength and Flexibility. Um, you probably need some props. I always encourage folks to have blocks handy, maybe some straps, um, some blankets, if you want to pad your knees on the mat if you don't double up like I do. Um, so that's what we're gonna do today. I will, I try to always start out with my little warm up, which is a handstand, a back bend, and a headstand. So I'll do that today as well. Today, I'm not in a rush. This whole week, um, uh, or yesterday and the day before, I went to work in the office downtown, and so takes me a little while to get there. So I was just like, oh, come on, let's just jump into the practice. I don't have time to chit chat before or after the practice, so I just jumped right in. But today I have a little more time on my hands. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Pamela. I consider myself a yoga enthusiast. I've been practicing yoga for about 4.5 years. I started during the pandemic, and I found that there are many, many, many yogis that make their content available on YouTube. So I have been leveraging that. It's nice. Yoga is really nice because you can do it anywhere. You don't need a lot of space. You have access to these incredible yogis. So if you have an internet connection and a mat, you're all good. And I'm excited that I can leverage it, anytime, anywhere. It is good for everybody, regardless of your capabilities or your limitations. It's great for all body types. It doesn't require you to be perfect, but there's opportunities, as you continue to practice, just to learn and to grow in your practice. And over time, you'll just be amazed by the things that you're able to do. It's wonderful in terms of helping you to improve your overall strength, to improve your mobility, your flexibility, your balance. Um, and so as you're getting older, it is something that's really, really important. I'm 57 years old, and I feel like yoga is kind of like the fountain of youth. It relieves aches and pains. It is really great for injury prevention. Just the improvement of your core strength. It helps with your posture. So you don't have to like walk like an old person. Um, it helps, kind of with your mobility, so you can, stay loose and, do lots of things. And the more limber you are, the less likely you are to have injury. And again, this is for all people of all ages. So I kind of focus on the fact that, I want to get older with grace, and I don't want to have to be one of those people that's like, I've fallen and I can't get up. But in actuality, injuries can happen to anybody. My grandson, I have a 10-year-old, almost 11-year-old grandson who is an athlete, and he plays baseball and basketball and football. And a couple weeks ago, he was in a baseball game, and he was at the bat, and he, he went to swing, and uh, immediately after he swung, he grabbed his hip, like this, and it turned out that he sprained his hip. I mean, just in that little motion. Um, and he's actually very, very stiff. He's not the most limber person in the world, and I have been encouraging him to do yoga with me, which, he has not had a regular yoga practice, but I was like, yeah, you see, if you had been doing yoga, that probably wouldn't have happened to you. It's the same thing. Like my daughters used to play volleyball, and I remember somebody like tearing their ACL in a volleyball game, and it wasn't even a sudden movement. It was like they were kind of down like this, went to go hit a ball or something, and something happened and they tore their ACL. So you could really, if you're not limber, you haven't been intentional about focusing on your flexibility and your mobility, you really put yourself at risk, especially if you're an active person. So there's just so many benefits to it. So I definitely recommend it across the board. What else would I tell you about me? I am a former fat girl. I'm 5'5", so 5'5" is not very tall. I'm not quite petite, but if I were a couple inches shorter, technically I would be. But I used to, at my highest, I weighed 280 pounds, and so I was morbidly obese. I have really had to do a lot to, to lose the weight. About 10 years ago, I lost about 140 pounds and gained some pounds over the years. And I've just found that when you struggled with weight for a really long time and you lose it, the battle is not over. It's really important to be able to transform your mindset and the way that you think. And yoga is really good, not just from a physical standpoint, but kind of from a mental standpoint and a spiritual standpoint. And it just helps you in terms of letting go of things that don't serve you. Really, it helps you in terms of practicing mindfulness and kind of focusing on the here and now, letting go of things that don't serve you, all of that. And so for me, I still struggle a bit, if I am upset or sad or lonely or whatever. I've got this mischievous relationship with food, where when I'm not at peace, that I use food in a bad way to, I don't know, fill a void or, to respond to a situation that is stressing me, and it's just not good. And so from a weight loss journey, I can be doing great, and then I get into all these moods and I start, with these kind of self-sabotaging behaviors, which is which happens because of the way that is that I'm thinking, right? And and so I take 2 steps forward and I might take 3 steps back, and so I'm trying to keep going forward, so I can just be the best version of myself. But it's sometimes it's a struggle. So that's me. I live out loud. I share the things that I go through. I share the things that I do for myself. So for me, exercise is my therapy, and I try to stay active, and I really enjoy it. And so yoga is one of the things that I do. But I like to walk and hike and bike and play pickleball, and I just like to embrace my inner athlete, and it just helps me keep my whole self where I need to be, and at peace, and encouraged and excited, and all those things that you need just to be the best version of yourself. So that's me. And I like to surround myself with people who also want to do good things for themselves. And so I share what it is that I do in hopes that I might actually attract more like-minded people, or to be able to give some inspiration to people who have maybe struggled with the same things that I've struggled with. I struggled a long time with my weight. From time to time, I've struggled with some mental health issues. I've struggled with kind of self-confidence and just insecurities and things like that. And so I think we're all human, and we all at times have these types of struggles. But it's good to have people that we can connect to that maybe have already been through what we're going through and can share some insights or some experience, give us something that we can glean from uh, to make to kind of lift our load, um, or make the heavy load that we carry lighter, and to help us through, and just to be able to endure and overcome the challenges that come our way in life. So that's me. With that being said, let's go on ahead and jump into this yoga. I'm going to do my practice or my warm up real quick. I do these things for a couple reasons. One, it connects me with my inner child, because I used to like to do gymnastic stuff when I was a kid, and so when I'm able to do these things at 57 years old, it makes me feel young, and that youthfulness just makes me feel good. But it's good for building core strength and shoulder strength. The back bends are really good for flexibility and increasing mobility in my spine, offsetting, the impact of the age appropriate little bit of arthritis that I have in my back. And it's just great. Those inversions are great for blood circulation as well, and just kind of and detox and things like that. And so they're just really good for you as well. So why not do something good for myself while making myself feel youthful and happy and all those things. So let me go start with that, and then I'll come back and we will jump into this yoga practice. I do hope that you will do it with me and that you enjoy it, and we can just get our day kicked off positively together. Okay, here we go. So getting ready to go again. This is going to be I think 35-minute practice. The yogi is Cassandra. She's got a YouTube channel, Yoga with Cassandra, however, she probably says Cassandra, but for whatever reason, I like Cassandra. Anyway, so this is just titled My Home Yoga Practice for Strength and Flexibility. So I'm ready. Let's get started.
And today I thought I would just take you through my own personal at-home practice. So I'm just going to show you what I normally like to do at home and the poses that I normally do.
Hopefully you guys
I
can
tend to
hear.
do a lot of the same stuff. I focus a lot on hip and hamstring flexibility and
I'm just going to make sure the sound is up on this.
a bit on core work. So it's fairly intermediate in level, not too challenging. I'm going to use 2 blocks, so you might want to have that somewhere close by. And we're just going to start lying down on our backs. Very typical of me, the way I normally start my yoga classes at home is with a knee to chest pose. So keep your left leg extended to the floor and just pull your right knee into your belly. You can either hold on to the back of the hamstrings or the front of the shin. Try to extend and push into your left heel as you draw the right shin in closer. So this is a really simple way to start opening up into the hip flexors and the front of the thigh. Try to soften your shoulders as much as you can. Take a big belly breath here. And then we'll move it over into a twist, so you can cross your right knee over towards the left side of your mat. Right arm extends out to the side. And you can use your left hand to kind of press a little bit on that thigh. So spinal twists are pretty much a must for me. It's probably the one kind of pose that I do every single day, whether or not I'm doing a full yoga practice or just doing a couple stretches. I tend to do this pose and thread the needle pretty much every single day, morning and evening. So one way that you can make this a little bit more challenging, my favorite way to do this twist is to straighten your right leg. So if you straighten your right leg, you'll feel this a lot more to the hamstrings and the IT band, and then you can just slide your left hand a little bit further down that right leg, maybe even hold on to the foot as you extend it out. So definitely a deeper variation of this pose. Try to draw your navel into your low back. And you can keep your right knee bent if this is too much. Release the hold of your right foot, bend into the knee, come all the way back up to center, and we'll just switch sides. So you can pull your left knee into your chest, extend your right leg straight out to the floor. Really push into that heel. Squeezing it in. Try to lengthen your spine. Notice if you're curving. Sometimes we collapse in the lower back in a pose like this one. You can carry it over into a twist. Left knee crosses to the right. Left arm can extend out to the side, just so you can ground that shoulder. We always want our collarbones to be facing up. This is really a twist from the mid to low back down into the hips. So we're looking just for a little mild stretch into the left side of our lower back. And it's already a pretty intense pose, but if you did want to go a little bit further into this one, you exercises. You really don't need to do very many of them to be able to feel it. So let's just take bridge pose from here. Keep your feet flat on the mat, relax your arms, and just lift the hips, slow back, and mid back off the floor. Squeeze the inner thighs together so you're not rotating open. Just breathe into your belly, trying to stretch out the abdominals. And slowly release down. So I'm just going to rock up to take a seat. And see if you can align and stack. I'll just turn around here. Stack your right shin in front of your left one. So you're not overcrossing, not doing like a lotus or half lotus type of pose. It's really just one shin in front of the other. Start with the right one first. Reach your fingertips out, lift and lengthen. And then walk your palms forward. And you might be up a little bit higher, or you might be able to lower down to the ground. I just want to invite the right glute and the right hip to start opening up. 3 breaths here. And coming back up. Switch the cross of your legs. So this time you want to have your left shin in front of your right one. And same thing. Lift and lengthen up. Walk your hands forward and melt the heart down. So stretching more into the left hip and left glute. And let's unwind. Make your way to your tabletop pose where we'll come into thread the needle. So that's one of those essential poses that I do absolutely every single day. Reach your right arm up to the sky, open up your chest, and then you're going to reach your right arm underneath you until the shoulder and the ear can drop down to the floor. So there's lots of different ways that you can do this pose. Right now, my favorite variation is to just come up onto the left fingertips and push into those left fingertips to twist a little bit deeper. This is really great for the upper back and mid back as well. Plant the left hand down to the mat. Re-extend the right fingertips up to the sky and see if you can open them up a little wider the second time around. Right hand comes down to the floor and we switch sides. Inhale, left arm up. And then exhale, thread it through until you lower to the ground. Come up onto your right fingertips if that feels appropriate and push down to twist a little deeper. So we don't want any tension in the neck here. Just let your head be heavy. Ground your right hand to the floor. Re-extend the left fingertips all the way up to the sky. And set your left hand back down to the mat. Let's step our right foot forward in between the palms, coming into a little low lunge. So right knee is bending over. right shin with your left hand. Bend the elbows, start to look underneath your right shoulder, and then maybe the legs can press to straighten. Coming back to neutral. Come back into your regular down dog, so step the feet back. Let's reach our right leg up to the sky and step your right foot forward between the palms. We're coming up to our high lunge. Arms extend up overhead. Palms are facing in towards one another. Drop the hips nice and low. We're gonna tilt forward. Reach your arms back, palms facing down. Keep your front knee bending over that second and third toe. Hands come together at the front of the heart. Press up to warrior 3. Left leg goes up. So from here into one of my all-time favorite poses, standing pigeon. Coming on up, you're gonna cross your left ankle over the top of your right thigh. Bend into your right knee so your hips can go back as you reach your chest forward. So I'll give you guys a couple options for this one. Where you're at now is option 1. Option 2 is to fold down and come down to the floor. Option 3 is to take the arm balance, which is usually what I like to do at home. So if you're playing around with flying pigeon, you want to ground your hands underneath your shoulders. Wrap your left toes around your right upper arm. Chaturanga the arms, make a little shelf so you can rest your knee. And just rock forward. Maybe the back foot comes off the mat and it can extend. Bring it back in. Try to come back out same way you came. So if you were down to the mat, bring your hands to your heart. Come all the way up and unwind. Shake it out, step to the top of the mat. We'll take a little vinyasa from here. I like to keep your feet hip-width distance apart. Inhale, arms rise. Fold, exhale. Halfway lift. Chaturanga, hop back. Upward dog. And downward dog. Over to the other side, left leg rises. High lunge. So keep your knee directly over your ankle. Try to reach your tailbone down to the floor, draw your navel in. Lengthen out through the arms. Let's tilt forward, arms back. So nothing really changes in the legs here. It's just the upper body that tilts. Hands together at the front of the heart. Warrior 3. Squeezing into the glutes. Into your standing pigeon pose. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Bend into that supporting leg. So this is option 1. Already a lot going on. Don't feel like you need to go further. Option 2, you can take a forward fold with the hands down to the floor. I'm just going to move back a little bit. Option 3, ground the palms. Really loop the toes around the upper arm. You need to grip it as if it was like little fingers holding onto the bicep. Bend the elbows, make that little shelf, and you can just rock forward, picking up the back heel, and maybe extending. Coming back out the way you came. Hands come together at the heart. We all meet back up. Mountain pose, ready to take our vinyasa. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And let's set our knees down to the mat. Take a wide-legged child's pose. Big toes together, knees apart. Hips to your heels, and lower down. So use this as an opportunity to slow down your heart rate. and lengthening your breath. So at home, I usually like to work my way up to a peak pose. For this class, what we just did, the peak pose for me was definitely flying pigeon, the arm balancing pose. And then after that peak pose, it's time to start unwinding, cooling down. So we go into poses that are lower to the floor and that are less about strength, a little bit more about stretch. Let's walk the hands back in. So come to take a seat. You can extend your left leg out to the side, right heel in towards the inner groin. So you're trying to widen the legs further away from each other. We'll come into a side bend first. So left hand can go down the left leg. Inhale, right arm up. And then exhale, move over to the side. So we're not folding to the leg. Instead, try to draw that right shoulder back. So this little sequence that we're doing here is one that I also do pretty much every day. So starting with a little seated side bend, and then going into baby wild thing. Bring your right hand back behind you, swing your left arm forward and back, push into the hips, lift up. Release, hips to the floor. And now this time you're gonna reach your right hand over to the outer edge of your left foot, and this time fold in towards your shin. And unwind, come up, let's switch sides, bend your left knee, extend your right leg out. Try to widen the knees. Begin with your side bend first. So left arm up, right hand down the leg. Exhale, tilt over. You can soften your neck here, let your head be heavy. Try to rotate the chest up. Into your baby wild thing, left hand down, right arm goes up and over, push into the legs, lift the pelvis up. Into your forward fold, set the hips down, bring your left hand to the outer edge of your right foot and fold in. just observing, noticing what feels different now, what has changed and shifted as a result of your practice today. Slowly wake back up by breathing a little deeper. Wiggle fingers and toes. Turn the head side to side. You can take a great big stretch, reaching your arms up. Turn to one side. Come on up to take a seat. Always finishing my practice just by grounding, sitting up nice and tall. Hands can rest on the knees or join together at the front of the heart. We'll close with a chant of Om one time, inhaling to chant. Breathe in. Namaste. Thank you, yogis, for doing this practice with me. I got a lot of questions recently of people asking me what my home practice was like, so I figured I would just make a little video and show you. I would love to know what you think, and if you're new to this.
Sorry. All right, so Cassandra always likes to end her practice in a chant of Om. I never do that. I always take the end of my practice as an opportunity just to thank you, God, for another day, just for bringing me to the mat, getting me through the practice, and just allowing me to be. So that's kind of what I do at the end. But like I said, yoga is your own. You can do with it what you will, what you want. So that's the practice for the day. Thank you so much for being here with me, for watching. I hope you joined me in the practice, and if you didn't, I hope you were at least inspired to do something good for yourself. It's always good to pick something that you can do for yourself, for your mind, for your brain, for your for your body, for your spirit, and you can just be blessed as a result. So always do something for you to make yourself the best version of yourself. That's my encouragement to you. It really works for me. You guys have a very blessed day, and hopefully I'll see you again tomorrow.